the place. Well, I've got one book here and I want to start a course here and I think I should do this. And so clarity of your pitch, that's what I've been designing for companies forever. Now I do it for people as well, so entrepreneurs can be successful, because I think there's nothing better than winning, and winning is just finishing your book, finishing your podcast, getting out there. I mean, nobody gave Alex permission to start his own podcast. You woke up, you saw a white space, said, look, I have an idea. I'm going to run with it, brand it, ask people to do it.
Welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast, where we bring to you the most successful, happy, fulfilled gentlemen from around the world who have been able to conquer themselves, their life, their marriage, and their businesses. You will be learning from four-dimensional gentlemen who have cracked the code to the science of having it all. The question is, how can married entrepreneurs with kids become gentlemen, achieve true freedom, and build a successful, happy, and fulfilled life, marriage, and business? This show will give you the answer for that. My name is Alex Ramirez, and I'm your host, and you're welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, Fulfillment Talk podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Understanding a Modern Queen podcast. And today I have an incredible guest that I'm very excited to talk to, get to learn from, and connect with. And before I introduce her to you, though, I just want to give a big shout out to all of you leaving comments, reviews, and likes on all the major podcasting platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, and to those watching on YouTube as well. Thank you. And I want to ask you for a favor. I want to ask you that if you get something out of this interview, if you get some type of value, some type of insight, a skill, information, motivation, or the inspiration to go out and take action and keep on moving forward towards your goals, I want to ask you to please share this episode with 10 friends. Share it on social media, share it on your Facebook, on stories. Share with 10 people, since this is how we grow. This is how we're able to share our message and motivate, inspire, and bless other men and women out there to change their lives and tap into their unlimited potential. And today, I have Forbes Riley, right? Yeah. And she's a celebrity TV host. Dr. Forbes Riley is a pioneer and industry leader in the field of infomercials, and home shopping TV, with product sales in excess of over $2.5 billion.
Alex, I'll tell you what. How about I play a little video so that all the people watching can instantly. Can you see my face over there? Can you see that? Yeah, watch this.
Audio Jungle.
Let's give it up for Forbes Riley!
The reason you don't have what you want is you don't know what it is. I've grossed $2.5 billion by tweaking people's pitches on infomercials. You hear things differently than I do. I hear money every time somebody talks. I hear enrollment, engagement.
Hi, I'm Forbes Riley, and today we've got a great product for you. Take a look at this.
She's got me working out. What are these called?
It's called a Spingym.
She launched her multi-million-dollar company by mortgaging her house and her kids' education fund. She knew it was going to happen.
I think pitch is everything. I don't care what kind of product that you've got. If you don't know how to pitch or articulate it, you will go nowhere.
I coach CEOs of Fortune 100 companies who have stood there and told me, Forbes, you pitch my company better than my marketing team.
You don't get to sit home and wait for the phone to ring. No, it doesn't really work that way. You write down action steps. You get a mentor. You find someone who's done what you've done, and you ask them how they did it.
If you dream it and you hold it to be true, you keep driving towards that. You keep talking about that dream, and actually you keep taking action. And then one day you're like, oh my God, how did I do that?
I started out
How did I do that? Hang on.
as an actress in Hollywood and a TV host, everything from the X Games to my own talk show. And about 20 years ago, I took the entrepreneurial route. I ended up on home shopping. I'm tired of seeing women suffer. I grew up heavy my whole life. My mom was 260 pounds and she was miserable. You want to be yourself.
And so that is a bit of a nice introduction. What do you think, Alex?
I couldn't, that was like the best that we could have done.
Yep, that's the whole idea. I grew up in television. If pictures is worth 1,000 words, your video is worth millions.
Got it. Awesome. I'll keep that in mind. Forbes. So, well, you're welcome. And the first thing that I do with my guest, Forbes, is I tell them to walk us through their entrepreneurial journey in 75 seconds or less.
Wow, that's an interesting conversation. 75 seconds or less. Well, here's the deal. I grew up with a dad who was a magician and an inventor, and he never got his ideas out to the world. I was an ugly, awkward little girl who, by happenstance, grew a little pretty, got onto television, and decided that I was going to change the way my family lived, that we had no money growing up. And I just had a vision. I've always chased it. I have this ability to teach pitch, coach pitch. I've been an actress and a television host. And I will tell you what, I'm grateful that I was live when I was with infomercials and live home shopping. But if TikTok and Instagram had been around when I was growing up, I would be the biggest thing you've ever seen.
Damn. Yeah. I think that as well. But, I probably, I agree with that. But why? Why is that? Why would you, why, like, what would have made you the biggest thing ever alive if you would have grown up with TikTok and everything that we have available today?
Because I didn't have to, in my day, you had to get permission to be on television. You had to have somebody build your career. They were gatekeepers. They were PR people. You couldn't get on television. You couldn't get publicity. Nowadays, you can do anything you want. You can literally create your own YouTube channel and be a star. And you've never done any of the things that I've done just because you said you wanted to. And, when I look at the people that I have in my life known, and so if I go here and I look, and that's Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank, who's a very good friend and a neighbor who I've built things with, I would have promoted this. I would have talked about how I've been on stage with Grant Cardone in front of 10,000 people. Well, before you couldn't promote it. Now you can. There's George Foreman. We did $300 million with George Foreman. Mario Lopez. I created pitches for all of these people. You've never even heard of that. You didn't even know that I hosted the X Games. I gave Kim Kardashian her start in television. And you don't know that because it was 18 years ago. But I'll tell you what, thanks to YouTube, you can watch this. We invited a top Hollywood stylist who's known to be the closet organizer to the stars. Please welcome my dear friend, Kim Kardashian.
You've seen her in all the magazines and on the E! Entertainment Network with her best friend Paris. Beautiful Kimberly Kardashian is a model and film and TV wardrobe stylist. Plus, she's busy with her two businesses doing celebrity closet makeovers and her upscale fashion store Dash in Southern California. What does this fashion pro think of the all-new Pressabella?
I'm in the fashion business, so it's...
Let's get real. I gave Kim her start, but you don't know that. It's not what I'm famous for, because back then there was no this instant publicity. And so nowadays, if you have a great idea and a clear direction, oh my God, you can crush it. The people who are not successful are the ones who are all over the place. Well, I've got one book here and I want to start a course here and I think I should do this. And so clarity of your pitch, that's what I've been designing for companies forever. Now I do it for people as well, so entrepreneurs can be successful, because I think there's nothing better than winning. And winning is just finishing your book, finishing your podcast, getting out there. Nobody gave Alex permission to start his own podcast. You woke up, you saw a white space, said, look, I have an idea. I'm going to run with it, brand it, ask people to do it. And guess where you are? That's the beauty of being alive today.
It is. Yeah. Like nothing right now, nothing is stopping you to do whatever it is that you want other than you. Right? That's crazy.
Problem, I know. And the funny thing is, because I do coach so many people, that the biggest issue now is not the people in Hollywood who kept us from being an actress, or the people who don't give you a job you want, but it is your limiting beliefs that you believe that Alex, what does your dad do for a living?
He's in real estate now. Yeah.
Okay. Is he successful?
Yeah. He's definitely more successful than the other part of the rest of his life. Because, I didn't get to tell you this, but he was a drug addict and alcoholic and had like 7 different kids with 7 different women for like 2 decades. So he threw 2 decades of his life away. And, right now he's like building something positive.
Good. Well, good. So somehow what's great about him is that you looked at him, and people do this if they're smart, and either become their dad or they go the other direction. Very, very important to know, because it doesn't matter who you were or who raised you. It's your belief about that experience. One of my clients, they were twins. Their dad robbed a convenience store, ended up in jail. This one son also ended up spending his life in jail. The other became a lawyer. The first kid said, when asked how come they ended up in jail, he said, how could I not with a father like that? The guy who was the lawyer said, how could I not with a father like that? So it's not what happens to you, it's the decisions that you made. And somewhere along the line, you decided that your life was going to matter. You were not going to make those same decisions, and you've gone down it, but no one gave you permission to. And it's very exciting to see you grow up and go, wow, I'm going to do this. And now what's even more interesting about you is that you've decided to dedicate a podcast to queens. I got to tell you, that's a pretty smart idea, especially if you want to meet some really good women.
Yeah, exactly. So I was meditating the other day, and I was like, this frustration came up, and because I haven't been able to get Grant Cardone on my podcast, and I haven't been able to get Gary J. White on my podcast. And I was meditating, and boom, I was like, understanding a modern queen, right? Because, well, like the hardest of the freedoms, I talk about freedom, physical freedom, emotional freedom, sentimental freedom, financial freedom. I believe the hardest one of those is the sentimental one, being a husband and a father. And, I'm going to get the opportunity to learn from women, how to, treat them, as well as I've already gotten Elena Cardon and White, Danielle White, to be on my podcast. And I'm going to ask for an introduction to them.
Absolutely. That's exactly. Congratulations. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's a very nice branding. I'm proud of you.
So, and then being a modern gentleman, right? It's about, true freedom, about having it all. And I'm going to be starting this world movement, helping men and women tap into their God-given unlimited potential. And I'm just building towards it. Like right now, like this is not what I make money with. Like I spent a year pitching 30, 40-year-olds on how to grow and I probably was pitching bad, like the wrong way, right? So right now I want to get some insights from you, but I spent a year pitching 30 to 40-year-olds on how to grow their business without sacrificing time, health, and relationships. And all I got was rejection. Like I got a nose, right? Like, so I didn't make any money. I had.
So this is an interesting moment. I can probably tell you why you didn't. Do you want to play a game with me?
Yeah, go ahead.
So pitch me as though I'm somebody you were pitching. In
Let's
30 in a minute, less than a minute. Go.
I don't even have a pitch anymore. No,
but go. Trying to remember what your pitch was. You spent a year doing it. You know what it is.
Let's see. No, I there's nothing. I'm just like frozen.
Okay, nobody gets frozen in my world. You were pitching because what were you what did you want to be teaching 30 and 40-year-olds about business?
So I was selling high performance mindset coaching. And I was, I told them that I was going to, help them get rid of limiting beliefs. I had like a page with like my offer.
So let me ask you a question. You know why it didn't work? Because you're 20 years old, and I don't need to listen to a 20-year-old who thinks he knows better than I do.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Yeah, that's called relatability. The second, but there's a way to get around that. The second is, what was the credibility that you have that you're asking me to trust you? Had you built a successful business?
No.
So why would I trust you to teach me how to do that?
Exactly, right? Now I understand. So now my business, right? This year, I'm going to be building a 7-figure business by the end of this year. And I'm going to, not 7 figures, 8 figures. And then I'm going to exit and I'm going to earn my stripes to go out, to come back and with those same men that said no and be like, hey man, are you still like, I see that you're still the same place that you were.
No, but hang on, that's not quite fair. So, and because what it is in terms of, who is your coach in terms of business? Who do you look up to?
At that time, it was Gary J. White. And then I had a lifestyle coach and then what else? And then who else? And then a couple of courses here and there. But Gary J. White was like the person that I looked up to.
Well, but what you needed was a coach who talked to you, because here's what I would say. I would reframe that entire thing, and this is what I get paid a lot of money to do. I would say, guys, look, I appreciate that you've been down the road. You're older than I am. I'm a young kid. But I what my daughter does. She's 19 years old. She runs a multi-million-dollar company. She's like, I got to tell you something. I was born with the phone in my hand. I can do research faster than you can. I've got systems and processes that are new that you've probably never heard of, about how to run your back-end database, of how to build funnels, and 3 other things on the internet that if you don't understand how to master, and I can build your social media on platforms that you have no time for, from Instagram to Clubhouse to LinkedIn, would that be of business to you? Because they don't need a mindset shift. They need technical systems. And one of the things that you were doing is the cardinal sin when people go to pitch. You wanted to tell them what you thought they needed. Nobody likes to be told what they need. Nobody does. But the art of pitching is if you can get them to want what you have. So my daughter created a training called GSD. She calls it Get Shit Done. She created 5 online trainings: GSD, an ebook, an online course, a funnel, an email list, and a VA. And you know why she's so successful with this course? Because it's what people want. Entrepreneurs of a certain age, 30 to 50, have no idea how to build their email list. They barely understand what to do on Facebook. They certainly don't have a lead magnet and a funnel that could make them money in their sleep. And they dream that somebody could build this for them. And then she says, I'm going to also show you how to hire somebody for $2 an hour and teach you how to work with a VA. Do you know that we have people crawling over themselves to work with this 19-year-old because she is giving them exactly what they want, not what we think they need. Make sense?
Yeah, totally makes sense.
And and I love that you failed. It's a really good teaching moment for you to go, all right, and when you're young, fail all over the place. I've had businesses that did not work, and you sit there and go, okay, what's the lesson that I learned from this? How do I course correct quickly? Who do I get as a mentor? Up level the people in your world, your mastermind, your trainings. And you know what? You're 21. It's exciting as hell.
It is. Yeah. I'm pretty excited for where I'm going. I like to think that I have a pretty clear direction, so I am excited.
Good.
And let's see. So Forbes, you're like your specialty, right? Like you're the queen of pitching like a pro, right? Of the art of pitching like a pro. So yeah, I would like for you to go a little bit deeper into that because I probably need help. Anyone listening probably needs help with that as well. And yeah, it would be a pleasure listening to you and getting your advice.
All right, so let me start with a little bit. One of the things that you have to do is you have to redefine the word pitch. Most people think of pitch as selling, as used car salesman, and I'm going to share my screen one more time, and I'll let you listen to a couple of ideas why I think pitch is so completely different. Is that fair? So this is one of my students who worked in real estate in Alaska, dreamed of coming down to Florida, but had no idea what pitching really, really was and how big she could become. And so?
Okay, so this is a course on how to master your pitch, right? But what I'm discovering is that every single minute of my day is a pitch. Everything, my interaction with my children, that is a pitch. And it's causing me to rethink and reprogram my thoughts, my words, my behavior. Everything is aligning and changing because of my new understanding of really what a pitch is. It's not just this one-dimensional, it's a pitch to, sell your product or sell your coaching business. It is a new way of living. That's what I'm getting from this. I can have anything I freaking want, especially with my husband, because I am really learning how to pitch the hell out of him.
And so that is what's so exciting, is that pitch is not what people think it is.
Okay, so
and what I teach, and I also say, look, guys, I got so good at this that I've sold $1 million in a day. Now, I'm sure that's pretty exciting to yours. How do you do $1 million in a day? Well, one, I understand platforms. So home shopping was one of the places that I went. And back then I did a deal with Serena Williams. They had these cool towels, right? And you would get it wet and you'd snap it 3 times and it would get cold. Well, the pitch was not working. People were not buying it, just like you did. You're like, really, how does that work? And even to buy it off television is challenging. So I took my magician background to create the pitch. And I got a bowl. See that silver bowl there? I filled it with really, really hot water. I took a heat gun because people don't need something they don't understand. They have to come to their own conclusion. So I got the towel wet. It's, oh my God, I would snap it 1, 2, 3 times and show the heat gun. Starts at 175. Then it goes down to 145, 125, 95, 75, 50, 55 degrees. It did that in less than 30 seconds. Oh my God, I want one of those. I could use that gardening out on the boat when I go fishing or playing tennis or just walking my dog in the sun. We sold, here, you can see that number down there, 48,264. That's just one day sales of cool towels, okay? I did $55 million in 3 years because it was an amazing pitch. How do you get people to understand? Then I went ahead, Alex, and did something I don't recommend. I created my own product. I created a fitness product. I got the coolest handheld fitness product here that nobody wanted when I started, and I took it to home shopping. And so there you see a couple of 50-year-olds with a Spingym. Now look at that number, 55,344. When's the last time you heard of somebody selling 55,000 of anything in 24 hours, okay? That's a pretty damn good pitch. And in my trainings, I dissect all the things that go into making that a good pitch on TV. I got home that week and I got a check for $1.2 million for 24 hours of sales. When you harness this whole concept of pitching, I think that your life changes. And you, in fact, pitched me to be on your show. And you went and think about the elements that you did. So how does somebody like Alex get Forbes Riley on his show? Number one, you asked very nicely. You happened to pop into my DMs when I could see it. And then you went ahead and you even made me a video. You are a very committed young man. And what you'll find with a lot of successful people, especially people that I know, and I know everybody, we like to give back to somebody who shows initiative, who gives more than he gets. The concept of your show touched my heart, how a young man wants to learn about how queens do it. Everything about it just aligned for me to what? Say yes. And that is what pitching is about, getting a yes at all times.
Actually, yeah. So one thing that I say is that if they don't say no, it's a yes. Because, you know, my service is like helping people with their podcast. And, you know, like my promise is that I can get you on a podcast with anyone, no matter how rich, famous, or out of your league they may seem. And, you know, we use the same process. And all we got to do is get them to say anything else that it's not a no and it's a yes. Then they get a video, and then, you know, we get the podcast scheduled. So yeah, pretty cool, right?
Even if it is a no, no means never ending opportunity. You ask the wrong person the wrong question, ask again.
Got it. Awesome.
So here's a question for you. Pick up any item on your desk. Pick up something other than a pen.
Oh, I was going to pick up a pen. Okay. An air conditioner control.
You get 20 seconds. Pitch it to me. Go.
How are you feeling? Are you cold? Damn, I'm really bad at this. Well, that was expected, right?
Well, now hang on a second. So you just said things, and I'm a holistic entrepreneur. What I focus on is the level of communication. So it's funny, when you get a little bit nervous, you tend to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to shift that for you because you're better than that. You know that? That's just one thing that you're going to grow into, going, I got this. And I want to hear that in your head. I got this. So go for it. You got an air conditioner in your hand. You know what it is. Tell us.
Well, it's, I'm thinking, I'm shut down. I'm thinking about what you just said, that, you know, you got to give people what they want, not what they think they need. So
hold up the air conditioner, and you went down the right road. Hey, Forbes, you know what? I noticed that you're standing there in a top that's, you know, almost see-through. Is it really hot where you are? I got to tell you, I suffer. I've got a lot of muscles, and women of a certain age, they have hot flashes. This is the coolest new device, takes batteries, doesn't have to be plugged in. And then you tell a personal story. Again, I have a 5-step formula. What I just did was I talked about relatability. I made an assumption about who you're talking to. That's, I'm wearing something that needs an air conditioner. And then I would tell a springboard story going, you know, and let me tell you about my mom. My mom is suffering so bad that she said because of this, she can now sleep through the night. Well, I got to tell you something. If you're talking to people of a certain age, one of the problems they have is they don't sleep through the night, or it does get hot, or air conditioners are expensive. And I got to tell you, this saves you so much money during the summertime. So in my head, what I teach is how to calculate all the things that I think that you need so fast to tell you and get you to want it very quickly.
And that's why, you know, like pitching is a superpower that you can use to get anything you want in life.
Oh, it's an insane superpower. It's how you get the girl to marry you. It's how you get to go to the restaurant that you want. You are pitching all the time. Now, you talk about want versus need. So I have this handheld fitness product. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's called a Spingym. And I could say to you what it is, why I made it, blah, 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 blah. And you'd be like, oh, that's good for you. But here's what I do. Alex, number one, raise your arm up like this.
Sorry for the interruption. If you're an aspiring, established coach, course creator, author, and speaker, I want to extend an invitation to check out my free training on the podcast Cloak Track Framework by clicking on the link in the description of this podcast. On this training, you're going to learn how combining podcasting with a rare concept that very few people know about called the Cloak Track can help you build a multi-million-dollar network of successful people who can become your clients, put you in front of hundreds of your ideal clients with your message, coaching, courses, and books, help you become a best-selling author, get you booked to speak on stages, or even making an extra $237,600 in the next 6 months. Click on the link of the description of this podcast to learn about the 4 simple steps to make this work. Step number 1 is alignment. Aligning who you're trying to be, what you're trying to do, your goals and purpose with building your podcast so that podcasting is a vehicle to help you achieve your goals. Step number 2 is leveraging the Cloak Track to find an unlimited supply of your ideal podcast guest. Step number 3 is leveraging the Cloak Track to close an interview with anyone, no matter how rich, famous, or out of your league they may seem. And step number 4 is the content machine, which is the key to tapping into other people's audiences. These are the 4 steps to making the podcast Cloak Track Framework work, and I'm not going to hold anything back on this training. So click on the link in the description of this podcast, go and check it out. And once you've done that, if you feel like this would help, we also have a complimentary, free, absolutely free alignment call to get you started and show you exactly how to implement everything. get access to the training right now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. Bye-bye.
Yes. And let me feel the back of your arm. Is it kind of nice and tight? Yeah? Good.
Yeah.
Right. But I bet your girlfriend, mom, or grandma may be a little wiggly jiggly. So you go to the gym, but they don't. What if I told you this is a 62-year-old arm? I do this for 5 minutes a day. I can do it sitting in my chair watching my favorite soap opera on a Zoom call, sometimes in the bath, or maybe while I'm watching the pasta cook. I got 5 minutes, and I'll tell you what, I've got gorgeous, amazing, sexy arms. Do you think that grandma or mom might want one of these?
Probably, yeah. She would probably want those, nice and firm back of their arm, right?
Now, what's really funny about that is that you're a guy and you're probably going, so notice I didn't sell it to you because you're young and you're fit. And when you showed your gun, you're like, I got a big arm. But then if I showed you my fiance and I said, you know what? He is a world-class bodybuilder and he uses this to warm up with. And I don't know, do you spend a lot of time in the gym?
Yeah, like an hour a day.
Okay, an hour a day. That's pretty good. And you look great, right? And you might think, well, why would I ever want one of these? But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you that this guy uses it. Now, I may not be your role model for fitness, but I will tell you what. Watch this. Hang on a second. And I will show you that if this guy does it, odds are it might be something that you're like, well, I'm having an interesting time with that's kind of funny. Sorry, looking up on Instagram on my computer, not having an easy time of that. Hang on a second. Oh, I was so excited about this one. I also have a little game that I play. That I say, when I show you a picture of him, if you don't say, wow, I will give you $100. Now, for some reason, my Instagram does not want to pull up people's information. How weird. You type it right in there, right? Come on. Oh, wait, there it is. Okay. So I'll show you a picture of him. And if you don't say, wow, let's see how this works here. Here's a picture of my husband who uses Spingym every day. What do you think?
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty much the only word to say when you look at him. Yeah. And he uses this in between. He uses it for his competitions. And you know why he uses it? Because it's an amazing way to warm up. And so if this guy uses it, might it be something that you would consider? Right?
Yeah. Now I want one.
Did you hear the word that you just said, Alex?
I want one.
I want one. Bingo. That's the perfect pitch.
Got it.
And I will tell you, when you get people to want what you have, and I did my formula. I don't know that, it's not like instant soup. I train people to do this. I do have some courses on it because it's an important technique. But I love that you said exactly what I wanted you to say. Here's another thing. I'm going to predict something else that you're going to say. All right? If I walked up to you and I said, hey, Alex, right? There's nothing on this paper right now. If I said, hey, man, you want to see something cool? What do you say?
Yeah.
Bingo, I know what you're going to say. Now, how did I know that? Well, because I've spent a lot of time with psychology of humans. Because what I do when I've got a Spingym, I say, hey, you want to see something cool? You say yes. I put this in your hands. 10 seconds later, you're like, man, I got to buy one of these. Where do I get one? I'll say in my pocket, and I've made a sale in 90 seconds. So if you can understand in what you're marketing, if you know what people are going to say to you, that's even better. How do you get that yes all the time?
With the perfect pitch.
Perfect pitch. That's really, and by the way, it's not about the perfect pitch. It is about being the perfect pitcher. Because the next thing is you have to understand how to adjust for who you're talking to. So I know that you're a certain age, certain fitness level. I'm not talking to you the same way I'm going to talk to your mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I will close both of you into the same product because of the pitch. Because I know that your mom wants more energy. She wants to feel sexy at a certain age. And if she looked at a 62-year-old and said, damn, if she can do it. But then I showed you Joshua because that's probably your idol in the gym. How did he build those muscles that fast? And now you want that. That is the perfect pitcher.
Cool. So it's about who you be. So you got to become a perfect pitcher, not just have a perfect pitch, right? Because if you become a perfect pitcher, you can pitch anything to anyone.
And you're going to be doing that in your whole life. You're going to pitch your product, your course, coming on your podcast, your event one day, your charity the next day. Are you married, by the way?
I am, yeah.
Well, you pitched her pretty good, didn't you? Think about it.
Well, Well, when I was little, I used to say I'm Mexican. Actually, Forbes, 3 years ago, I didn't know how to speak English, and I always like tell my guests my story, like before clicking record. But I didn't get to do that, But 3 years ago, I didn't, speak English at all. I couldn't speak more than 3 words in English without choking myself. And when I was little, I used to tell my family that I was going to marry a blonde, blue-eye, white girl. And they would laugh at me because I was like this little like brown kid, right? Like prieto, it's called in Spanish, like when you're like brown.
Yo hablo español, by the way. Yo trabajo en México por 10 años. Just so you know. Yeah.
Oh, increíble.
But gracias. But you are much smarter than I am because I've been speaking Spanish my whole life and I still can only speak about 35 words. So congratulations. I know how hard that is. Now, here's the funny thing. So you had it in your head, this beautiful blonde, blue-eyed woman, and that's what your wife looks like.
And I got it. Yeah.
So what is that a testament to? My world, we call that Forbesing it. That is to manifest something, especially when no one else thinks it's possible. What have you Forbes lately? You Forbes, the girl of your dreams. And my friend, I also said out loud that I wanted to marry somebody who looks like he walked off the cover of a romance novel. Did I get what I wanted? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we wanted it. And that's what's going to make you so special as you go down this life of yours is one, knowing that you can manifest things. And two, they're outrageous things because I got to tell you, I go with a lot of Mexican kids. I'm sure there's no way you got the perfect white girl, the Barbie, right? And she loves you for who you are because she wanted, your kind of energy and passion and foresight. How did you guys meet?
In high school, at 18, I got her pregnant. After, being a drug addict and alcoholic from 14 to 18. Because my father was a drug addict and alcoholic. So you become, your father, or you go the other way around. So I started going down the same path as he went. Okay. And I was a drug addict and alcoholic from 14 to 18. At 18, I got my girlfriend pregnant. My father got my mom pregnant when he was 18 and my mom was 15. So my mom had me at 15, right? So yeah, right. So I got her pregnant at 18. I was scared, had a lot of limiting beliefs, such as my mom telling me that if you have a kid at a young age, you're going to be a fuck up. You're not going to amount to anything great. You're going to fail and you won't do anything with your life. So at 18, when I got my girlfriend pregnant, I didn't want that baby, right? And me and my girlfriend decided to go with abortion. And my girlfriend ended up taking like 40 some pills to abort. And on Google, which is where we got our information from, it said that she was going to be in pain and bleed. That's exactly what happened. She was in pain for a couple of nights, couldn't sleep and all of that, and bled. So it worked. A month went by. She got her period, just as she normally would, meaning that it had worked. Another month went by and she didn't get her period. And we were like, we didn't know what to do. We bought a test. She was pregnant again. We did the whole procedure again. She took more pills. She was again in pain for a couple of nights, bled everything out. And it worked, right? Another month went by. We graduated high school. And after graduating from 1 week to another, out of nowhere, I became the father of a premature baby that was born at 5.5 months of gestation. Because the previous abortion attempts had not worked. And, that was 3 years ago. That entire process was like full of pain, shame, and guilt. I had a baby that was this big that could fit in my hand that I previously tried to kill multiple times before that. And that whole process, was like the worst thing that ever happened to me, completely shattered my world. And I had nothing going for myself. I was addicted. All I wanted to do was drink and do drugs. And I didn't have a purpose or a mission or goals. And, all of that happened 3 years ago. I'm still with my girlfriend. I didn't abandon her. And we're about to get married this November. I've been calling her my wife for the past 3 years just because of how committed I am. But we're finally going to get married because it finally makes financial sense. And my daughter, Riley, Forbes Riley, you wouldn't even believe it, that she's absolutely beautiful. She's healthy. Nothing is wrong with her. And, when I was little, I said that I was going to have a blue eyes, white, blonde kid. And I got laughed at because I'm like this little brown Mexican kid. And that's what I have right now. I'm married to a blonde, white girl, and I have a blonde, white, blue-eyed daughter.
Well, you've got a daughter who definitely wanted to be here. I was born at 4 pounds. My mom was in a car accident, and she lost my twin brother. And there's something to be said about the tenacity of a little spirit that wants to be here so badly and wanted you as her dad. What is her name?
Alexandra. She's named after me. My name is Alexander. I like Alex just to, for short. Her name is Alexandra. Yeah.
I think that's an absolute beautiful story. And I'm going to tell you something else. What's great about your story and your willingness to tell it as open as you are is that the worst part of your life is, in fact, the best part of your pitch.
Hmm.
And so that is a beautiful story. The fact that you're not a fuck up, the fact that you got these crazy dreams, the fact that your daughter survived and is here and you love your wife as much as you do, that says a lot about you. And so it's a better story that you went through all that shit to get here. Don't ever be ashamed to tell that. It's powerful.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. And I'm proud actually. It's been 3 years. I feel like I've been through. Wait, I'm getting emotional. I feel like I've been through some great growth, and I'm proud. Yeah.
No, you should be proud. I don't even know you, and I'm really proud of you. I mean, I do know you now, but I got to tell you, I coach a lot of people. The way you told that story, it's very graphic, and it is very emotional. And I think you're going to touch a lot of young people because you have the courage to say that, and you have the courage to go through it and come out the other side. Not a lot of people do. They get caught up in that, and they don't know where to turn. And so where did you pull your strength to get sober and to want to live and to want to have this beautiful family? Where'd that come from?
Well, Riley, I would love to be on your podcast. Would you like that?
Yeah, why not? I'm happy to put you on. I think, like I said, you've got a pretty powerful story.
Awesome. Well,
go ahead.
Well, I already got you to say yes, so that was a perfect pitch, and I'm gonna reach out and follow up on that. But but yeah, I mean, I can tell you, and where I got the strength from is I always had it. I just lost it, right? Like I got lost. Mexican kid selling chips and candy in the US, right? Like Mexican chips, candy, and soda in the US when I was like 11 and 12. Then selling smartwatch, virtual reality glasses from China when I was 13 and 14. And then selling cars at 14 to 15, cars that I used to buy in the US. I bribed the Mexican Border Patrol to let me cross my car to Mexico, get it fixed over there, and then bring it back to sell it. But at some point I just got, I had a belief that I wasn't good enough, right? And I just got lost trying to prove that I was good enough with the people that with people that didn't even matter and didn't even care about me. And I just got lost trying to prove that I was good enough by being the one that drank the most and being the one that did the most of anything that they put on the table. So I just got lost from 14 to 18, but I always had that strength. I always had that, that special, like I always knew there was, like more that I wanted to be.
By the way, if you share this story, this is Grant's story too, Grant Cardone.
I have him right here on my vision board. Yeah, I really resonate with him.
Yeah, I mean, he was a pretty self-proclaimed fuck up for a really long time. And if you tell him that story and pitch him that and say, I stand for underdogs, and as somebody, as you have gone through that you might have been part of the inspiration to pull me out of this, you will get him to say yes.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me know and making me aware of that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I spent time on his stage. You ask, how did I get there? I pitched him and Elena, and I did not know them. That story that I've been out there on how that happened was when Grant 5 years ago or so was just starting out, he was a little bit famous, but I decided that I wanted to meet him, and it was challenging. It was not that easy back then. And I had a moment, and the pitch went something like this. I saw him down the hall with his entourage in Las Vegas, and when I walked up to him, again, this is why I recommend studying pitch. I walked up to Elena first, because one woman walking up to somebody else's husband is never a good thing. And I know that, right? But people don't think about this. I walked up to her and I said, look, I've grossed $2.5 billion as a television host and infomercials. I can make your husband a billionaire if you'd listen to me. She immediately says, Grant, you got to meet this woman. Great introduction. I'm standing there next to Joshua. When a man looks at Joshua, they're like, wow, okay. And I said, Grant, Kevin Harrington and some of my friends, I'm the queen of pitch. I've grossed $2.5 billion. Let's get you an infomercial and let's 10x what you do. No pun intended. And he pretty much was like, shoot, come to my party, come meet me. And the next thing you know, this happened.
Yeah.
4 months in the making and a lifetime to actually get here.
When I heard her story, it just touched my heart.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving.
Everything I am as a human being over the last 4 months to get right here. And I will tell you, that was quite a journey. How do you you dream big, you put the work in, you do like exactly what you're doing right now, and you stand for something other than yourself. And I think you've got an amazing story and a great future.
Thank you, Forbes. I really appreciate you. I'm like getting, yeah. I just wanna. I am very excited. I'm very excited because that's exactly what I have Grant Cardone here. I got Garrett J. White. I have another vision board of me speaking in front of thousands of people. Like that's what I want. That's where I'm going, and that's where I'm gonna get.
So what you need to do now is to clarify your message, clarify your pitch, have products to sell. Because one of the issues when you're on a stage that big is they expect something from you. What do you take home? You don't just get to tell your story. So I would ask, not in this environment, but do you have those things? Are you online with a training that people can get from you? How do you help other people? What do they get to do to up level? Because it's never about you. You get to tell your story as a catalyst. I tell all the pain that I went through, but I'm going to teach you how to become the best pitcher, the best communicator. And that's my gift. You get to tell people, how do you as a young man, up level your career? There's a company that you should look at called Metal, METAL. And that might be a good start for you. They're located in Los Angeles. The other thing that successful people do, if they're really successful, is they share resources and they up-level other people. I am successful because of how I've created people successful around me. I get thank yous every day from people whose lives I've changed or touched or motivated. And so that's a good resource for you. I think you'll like them. Tell them I sent you. And it's a men's group, and it meets, and it's extraordinary. Something that you should know, and they would be very happy to meet the modern gentleman, which I think is also great branding for you. And I love the fact that you are Mexican right now. I spent 10 years working in Mexico. I worked for Club Med. I lived in Hermosillo, Playa Blanca, Huatulco, Zihuatanejo, Cancun. I love Mexico. Most Americans have no idea what Mexicans are. That's okay. You're here to tell them. And it's great. But there's a little, and there's a little less difference than you realize. But now today we are all about inclusivity. So unlike 10 years ago, now we're excited to know you and give you opportunities because you're Mexican in America. Oh my God, this is exciting. So I would leverage that just like I'm leveraging the fact that I am a woman. I've been fighting as a woman against the Me Too movement and being chased around desks and put down my entire life. Guess what? It's our turn. It's our turn if you're black, brown, green, purple. Use it, enjoy it. No more excuses. No more excuses.
Awesome, Forbes. So we have a couple of minutes, and I like to end my interviews with 5 questions.
Okay.
All right. And the first one, I selfishly ask because I'm 21, and I'm gonna ask, if you could go back in time to give your 20-year-old self some advice, what would that be?
Stop playing small. You're prettier than you would imagine, and you're one badass bitch. Don't wait.
Stop playing small. Oh, that's a huge one. Yeah. So
you
know what?
I played big and I played small all at the same time for a long time.
And you know what, Forbes? Like I was going to throw my first event this, in Q1 of 2023 for some reason, but I'm gonna throw it this year. I'm gonna throw it this year in November, and and like the only reason I was going to throw it, like I was delaying it, is because I'm afraid, and the only reason that I'm afraid is there's no reason why I'm afraid. I'm just like playing small, so I'm gonna stop playing small.
Yeah, you gotta be willing to fail big.
Yeah, exactly. The next question is mindset. So what is the mindset shift, Forbes, that you've had that you think is contributing to your success?
A couple of things. I raised a little boy from South Central who's a little blacker than your t-shirt for 12 years. His name was Dexter. I love Dexter. I got to teach Dexter all these lessons about inclusivity before it was popular. And July 21st of 18 years ago, he was walking from a haircut to church and he was killed. He was murdered by a kid who wanted to get into a gang. Walked up right behind him and put 10 bullets in his back. That was a pretty big defining moment for me, that life isn't what you think it is. Bad things happen to great people. And if you don't seize opportunities, they will go past, they will go by. I've lost friends, I've lost loved ones. And one of the best things that I ever did was to have children. You're going to experience this now. My twins are 19 years old. And I will tell you that they are the absolute love and light of my life. I sacrificed a lot for them. I worked very hard to be the best mom I could. And today they love me. My daughter and I are going to Greece for 3 weeks. My son's going to join us. My 19-year-olds want to hang out with their 62-year-old mom. I did something right. And I'm very proud.
Unheard of. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So then seize opportunities.
Grow
Yeah.
and have a family. Have people who love you around you. And if you don't have a family, my parents are gone for 24 years, make a new one. You can be a big brother, big sister. You can adopt kids if you can't have one. But I'll tell you what, there's so many aching hearts out there that need to be loved. I have a little girl who's stuck in a wheelchair. She'll be there forever. She's got cerebral palsy. She's part of my family. I have a lot of family members that I built. And maybe because I grew up without a family, that the most important thing to me, I'm still friends with my very first boyfriend in life, because those are my brothers. Those are the people who knew me when. And I will tell you, having a family, people that you can rely on, that you love, that love you for no other reason than you're there, is the beautiful part about life.
Awesome. Yeah, that was beautiful. It touched me. Mindset map. So do you have any advice for people who may lack or need clarity, Forbes?
Yeah, have enough courage to meet and get into a class with somebody who'll kick your ass. I'm certainly one of them. All the people that you love teach classes. You know, Tony Robbins teaches, I teach. I don't know if Gary Vee or Grant, they do teach. You know what? Step up to the plate, invest money in yourself, and go learn, because none of us came out of the womb knowing this stuff, and we did not get it in college.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Awesome. Motion. What is one habit that you have, Forbes, that you think is contributing to your success?
I spin gym every single day. You know what?
Cool.
I wake up freaking happy as shit. I wake up, I open my eyes, and I just go, God, still here. I remember 10 days of my life about 5 years ago. I had a kidney stone that went septic because I wasn't taking very good care of myself. And I woke up every day dying for 10 days in a hospital. And I made a deal with God. I'm like, please, dear God, if I get out of this, if you're willing to let me do, I got stuff to do. This is not the end for me. Please don't let it stop. And so I have massive gratitude that I wake up, I'm not in pain, I'm not sick. And I just can't, I bound out of bed, except the other best thing for the last 5 years is that I roll over and I kiss the sexiest man in the world who tells me how beautiful I am. We say I love you to each other, and I'm grateful to the universe for gifting me him.
Awesome. So then you take care of yourself, and that leads to everything else.
Decide to be happy. You can wake up and decide to be pissed off. Fucking decide to be happy and go, this is my day.
Mm-hmm.
And plan it out, push it, make more phone calls than you ever imagined. Get on social media, put yourself out there, have a plan, do all the things that you know, but do it with a sense of, oh my God, I'm so lucky to be alive.
Awesome. I like that. All right. And the last one, right, Forbes, I don't know why I keep on calling you for your last name, is what do you think about measuring and tracking?
Oh my God, I am a metrics nut. Let me tell you, I was on the phone today with a guy named John Lee, who sold his first company, went public at 27. And in our conversation, he took out a calculator to talk about his metrics. I can tell you that when I do a certain class, I close 30% here. I know my numbers. And I'll tell you something else. As a woman that's not typical, you got to have a business plan that generates income, and statistically, you know exactly what that is. That is living in your masculine. You know, when you got a little emotional, what I like about you is you're also in touch with your feminine. To have both sides of that is spectacular. as a woman, most women go into business like, oh, I don't feel like doing that. Or like, it is this girl thing. It's this, I'm going to follow my bliss. Oh, how much money did you make? Well, I don't really know. Then you're not in business. You have a hobby. And so it's very important to understand that business is business. It's there to generate income. It has a bottom line. You yourself have to stop giving away things for free because you want to pay for your vacation. Take your daughter on vacations where your best memories will be made. Be able to buy yourself nice clothes. Enjoy your house. You know, you don't need money to be happy, but it sure does help. And that's it.
Awesome. So Forbes, you know, I've really enjoyed this. I've had a lot of fun. And thank you very much for, you know, giving me your time and for being here. I really appreciate it. So thank you. And if people, you know, want to know more about you and they want to learn how to pitch, what would be the best place to, you know, get started with that?
So one, my name, come to ForbesRiley.com. I have some free gifts there for you, some very inspirational, motivational videos. And then every Sunday, since COVID started for 2 years now, I have been doing a live 2-hour pitch class. The link is at ForbesRiley.com. But I will tell you, if you can come and hang out, I charge $19 to hang out on a Sunday. For 2 hours, I coach people on Zoom live. We've had 12,000 people go through this, and I invite you to come on a Sunday. Like I said, the link is at ForbesRiley.com. And I also created a world where if you affiliate with my company and you refer people, we pay you. And I've paid out tens of thousands of dollars for people who said, you know, I like that, Forbes. You go to her class, and we pay you nice amounts of money. It's been the most spectacular thing ever. And so Sundays, every Sunday at 5, live.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Forbes. And I'll see you later.
Well, here's what you got to do. You got to promote this so lots of young men and women get to hear this, get to meet and go, wow, because a lot of them don't seem to have hope. And of all the things that I'm doing right now, I'm painting a bright future for young people who may not be able to see it. But I got to tell you, I've lived long enough to know the best part of life, you got high highs, you're going to get low lows. Keep on going. And on that note, I'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you for watching the Gentleman's Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with one friend, leave us a comment, and let us know. 99% of people never leave a review or comment, but we love and are very thankful with the 1% of you who do. If there's something or someone you want to see on this podcast, send me a message on Instagram at Alex_Ramirez1020 and let me know. As a thank you for that, I have an amazing surprise for each and every one of you who does take the time to leave us a comment or review on YouTube or one of the major podcasting platforms